right, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, October 8th, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick Rick sitting there. Blue.
Oh my God.
Wow, look like the blues right here now.
Sound like the blues on a Tuesday night.
I'm ready for Nashville.
Sounds like a sick dog.
Shut up, Delgado.
Listen, so does that beard.
Yeah, Delgado. What day you ungrown that beard? Like 32?
That's a beard from Biafra.
You got to push the hairs out.
Yeah, he's going to do something different.
I'm feeling quite grizzly.
Oh, man.
You look very
I feel like I want to grab an axe and go chop down some trees.
I think you should change your name to Rick Del Grono.
Slick, how are you?
Slick Rick. I'm doing good.
Yes,
He talks about himself.
That's your name.
I'm in the third
You're
person today.
referring to yourself
I'm in the third person. I'm doing good.
Okay.
Yeah, Mets are winning, I think, last time I checked.
Oh, Mets are winning.
Mets are winning. Jets are firing.
Jets are firing. Jets are firing on all
And if
cylinders.
there's an upset, Yankees may be hiring.
Jets are
Royals.
firing on all cylinders.
Yes.
Well, we said Sunday was a disaster. 2.5. God,
That was bad.
free money on Minnesota. And they Woody finally decided not to wait the whole season to do something.
That's it.
Woody woke up and chose violence. Said, see ya.
Woody took him to the woodshed is what he did.
Yeah,
That's
Woody
for
took
sure.
him to the woodshed, exactly. So Saul is out. I'm sure the quarterback had a lot to do with it.
Yep.
Yes.
And so in the end, let's just face it, Delgado was right. That exchange on the sidelines
Delgado was right.
Was way more than met the eye.
Yep. He was.
It was get your losing off of me. I'm about to fire you.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure yet when.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah, no, we cannot.
No,
so.
I guess not.
So
Yep.
Slick, all right, well, Slick will have sports. Mets are winning. I don't think even the Mets can blow this one.
Still up
If it's
6-0, but I don't know.
If it's not over yet, it's got to be close. Rick Delgado, how are you?
I'm good,
Other than your beard, which is not good.
which is a kind of a
Wannabe.
yeah, kind of a
Pathetic.
disaster. I made the commitment last week. I think it was Thursday. I'm not going to shave until the election.
Okay.
It's my rally beard. It's
think
to
you
get
know.
people out to vote.
Look pretty much like you do today. I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to be much different.
I look like a 3-year-old who stuck his face in a box of cinnamon rolls. Looks terrible.
It's coming along. You look good. It's coming along.
Razor
No, you don't
close.
look- you
Very
look
substantial.
good. Don't tell
Very
me it's good.
substantial.
Yeah, it looks good on you.
I got to
Well,
shave every 10 minutes.
Vinny Mac is here. Vinny looks good, mostly because he finally is letting the hair thing just go.
Oh, I'm letting it go, baby.
He's just letting it. Finally, he's taken
Look
my.
at this.
After 10 years,
Look at that.
he has finally taken my advice and stopped putting that shoe tar.
Yeah. Well, someone called me Elvis once, and I'm like, wait a second.
Whoa.
That is not even close. But I got some blue envy over here with Slick, man. I saw him spray painting that whole outfit outside in the green room. It was amazing, you know? It was
I think I stole a pair of his boots for tonight's
Yeah,
show.
I'm going to get my jacket spray painted next
Vinny
time.
Mac always looks good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling good. You know, I've been doing my boxing, keeping myself in shape.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Saul, my boxing partner over there.
Saul.
Yeah, Saul. Saul is a legend, by the way. He's a
I'm
legal
sure he is in his own
legend.
mind, yes.
Yes, exactly.
All right, very good. As are you, by the way.
Thank you very
You're a
much. I
legend in
appreciate
area
that.
as well. So.
By the way,
What?
Vin,
Yes,
I went to go see a guy about a boxing training.
you did.
You went yesterday.
Hey, did you go?
Inspired by you. I said, you know what? He says it's good to get you in shape. All right, I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah, I like that.
yeah.
Full body workout.
I might start next week.
I can't fix the hair or the growth on your face, but it will make you feel and look better. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I'll give that a shot.
See if when you're boxing, if you can become a man while you're there and grow some hair.
That is weird, wacky stuff.
Oh, man.
All right, Delgado. So I'll start with you. What's caught you? What's caught your attention in the news? I'm just playing around.
Here we go.
What caught your attention in the news? I'll start. Here's what caught my attention in the news.
Okay.
Joe Biden wants Kamala to go down so bad, so hard.
Yes, that was what caught my attention.
Oh man, it's
not-
beautiful.
Oh man, it's just so out there now.
And I've got the cuts to prove it. It's awesome. It's just awesome.
Yeah. He wants her to lose so bad that the good doctor can just taste it. I'm telling you right now, they can just taste it. They got 28 days to go to ruin this as much as they can and let her do the rest. And she's doing a damn fine job of it, by the way. I said this, I don't know when, but I'll say it again. Whatever their I said it to last night. And Tara Dahl made a good point that their strategy is not to get this votes of the citizens. But putting that aside, she goes on Howard Stern. She goes on Call Her Daddy. She goes on The View. I don't know what votes are there for her to get by going on those shows. Those shows she's going on because she knows they won't totally expose her for the absolute gold-plated, phony, empty suit, empty brain nothingness that she is. She's like eating empty calories. You think, oh, this tastes good, but it's terrible for you when you actually think about it. Gets you nothing but maybe a 5-minute feel good. That's what she is.
Yeah, she's preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Every stop.
There's no votes there for her to get. I saw someone say, oh, what a great strategy she's executed here. What strategy? If there's voters that are undecided or they're not in those places, they're not listening to Howard Stern. They're not watching The View. They're not listening to Call Her Daddy. They're in Pennsylvania. They're in Wisconsin. They're in Ohio. They're in these swing states. They're not listening to these whack job left of left shows.
She can't handle, though, the controversy of tough questions. I mean,
she can't handle
that.
Bill Withers, whatever his name was on CBS. Yeah.
You did a good job. And they're criticizing Trump for not going on 60 Minutes. He canceled that. And I was thinking I would have a little Facebook battle on that whole thing. Yeah, very, very unusual for me to have that Facebook battle, but I did. And the result of that Facebook battle was, well, first off, you saw what happened at ABC. You saw what happened at CBS. But the thing is, Trump...
And we've seen what's happened with Leslie Stahl in the past.
Exactly. But Trump has taken on all comers. How many times did he do press conferences when he was president? Once a day, sometimes once a week. Not once in a whole term like Biden did, right? Then you have all the things he does. He goes into the firing line, but why should he do 60 Minutes now? And get abused by these people who are going to ask him the same thing and attack him.
Yeah, and who are going to edit like they did for her benefit. They're going to edit to work against him.
They edited the heck out of it. And then Vance goes on Stephanopoulos there, old shorty over there, and the adversarial nature of that exchange absolutely outrageous. They don't even just ask respectful questions in a respectful way. They attack. So why would Trump do that? And on my Facebook battle, I think I won. I think it was a technical knockout. Thank you at that point. And that was the result. He shouldn't have to go on 60 Minutes first, and he doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't need it. The question is, why does she think she needs it? She's going on 60 Minutes. She's going on The View. She's going on Call Her Daddy. She's going on Howard Stern. Okay, go ahead. But the 60 Minutes interview might be the nail in the coffin. It was so bad. Even if you're voting for her, I don't think you could watch that and think anything other than, man.
31
she
days.
is not ready for anything close to not prime time.
No.
Not back time, not old time.
Nighttime,
bedtime. She's ready for only bedtime. That's it.
That she could be ready for.
Yeah.
That's it. She is not ready for anything. And here's the biggest kicker of all the interviews she's done is, believe it or not, the question from Sonny Host, not so Sonny Hostin. Sonny Hostin fires up an absolute softball for her to knock out of the park. And that would be this question and answer.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden?
We are 28 days from the election. Biden is off in the dog track somewhere, eating oatmeal, dribbling on himself. There is no reason for her not to take that, if she's serious and thinks about where she is in the polling and what people are most concerned about. New York Times Siena, I bring you back 4 weeks ago. 68% of the country feels like the country needs real change. How do you represent yourself as an agent of change when right now, back then, 4 weeks ago, all people do is tie you directly to Joe Biden? Here we are, 28 days away. She gets that question. This is her chance to knock it out of the park and say, oh, yeah, plenty of stuff I would do different on my own person. I haven't been involved. Here's what she says.
During the past 4 years.
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Oh, yeah.
that's in general.
And then she puts a little frosting on top and said, "Look, I was there when we made all these terrible decisions that affected the country and have us going in the wrong direction."
That is unbelievable to me.
But she's running on change. She's running on, removing the past and moving forward and changing things. That's her platform. And there's nothing here.
There's nothing she wants to change. She thinks it's going great.
Nothing. Nothing.
I'm going to change dramatically, except I'm never going to change my clothes or my hairstyle.
The problem she has is she can't run on change because she would have to come out and say, "All right, I've been terrible the last 3.5 years, along with Joe Biden. We have been terrible. We've done it all wrong." Then, of course, nobody's going to vote for that because they're like, "Well, what makes you think you're going to do it right now?"
But you certainly don't. You certainly say.
Well, no, she's not going to say that. But acknowledging, yes, there are things. That's basically saying, "Look, we screwed the pooch on this." That's the thing to say, though,
is to say, "Hey, I've learned a lot the last 4 years."
Yeah, right. I would be my own person. Yeah. I would definitely have made some decisions differently. I would see. You say something. You don't say, "Well, yeah, no, nothing comes to mind."
Nothing comes to mind.
No, nothing comes to mind right now.
And the View hosts are just like, "Okay,
of course,
yeah, no problem,
of course,
good." And they all clapped, by the way, like hyenas in that studio audience. Like what she just said was so great. You want 4 of the years of the same thing, please?
Now, on this morning stream, I played Governor DeSantis. He went on with, I think, Hannity last night.
Yes.
And smoked her over this whole who's been in communication with who over the preparation for the hurricane. And I thought to myself, I said this morning, would there be any journalist who would now go back to, so she was on the tarmac lying her ass off about DeSantis and what communication she's had and what her perception of what he was doing. Then DeSantis comes out and fires back at her, just nukes her.
You don't mess with him.
And I thought, well, who's going to be the one that now questioned her back on his response? Well, they actually did on The View, and see if you can hear the answer. Just find me the answer to what she's actually asked here.
Now, he said this morning, you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has had since you've been vice president until apparently now, and called it political. What's your response to that?
Well, first of all, I have called and talked with, in the course of this crisis, this most recent crisis, Democrat and Republican governors. Called, taken the call, answered the call, had a conversation. So, obviously, this is not an issue that is about partisanship or politics for certain leaders, but maybe is for others.
Mm-hmm. Anybody hear an answer on DeSantis there?
I'm still waiting.
That was nothing.
Nothing. Emptiness. Just a vacuum of emptiness.
It's a word
That's what's happening there.
Yeah, a word salad.
And you won't see the word salad if you watch 60 Minutes because they edited it out.
They edited one of her answers.
That's
like
what I mean.
2-minute answer.
Yeah.
We have that too.
All right, we'll do it all. News, sports, Vinnie Mac, all coming up. Live from Studio 6B. If you're in the chat, stick with us.
What a show we got today.
We got a GrowFundMe account.
A GrowFundMe?
Yeah.
Grow for me is what it should be.
Facial hair can make a difference.
Yep.
I don't know where, but
It does. I've had this little goatee here for years. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a little thing. Just a little touch.
Yeah.
Little touch of friskiness, Little touch of
A little
friskiness.
something that says,
for
hey,
who?
here we go.
Oh, boy. What'd you guys do today?
Everything.
What does that mean?
I had what did I do today? I had a nice lunch with one of the guys in my networking group. Fantastic, real young guy, very focused on Trump. He works for somebody who's a big Trump supporter.
We're live in the chat.
And so we had nice conversations. Nice to sit down with like-minded people,
Also, younger people.
today?
It's nice to
Tuesday?
see younger people.
Yeah.
Who,
He really loves J.D. Vance, and I said, I have to give you that. I love him too. He wouldn't mind seeing him as president now. I said, well, a little seasoning, but I maybe a little seasoning. 39 is a little young for president.
It's perfect. 4 years as VP.
Yeah.
For that guy to step into the presidency, I think that's the best thing that could possibly happen.
12 years of this run would be just good for me. It would put us right where we need to be 12 years from now. Really.
Yeah.
I'd love to see 12 years of this
Chat. What's going on, chat?
Thanks.
Chat.
Delgado would light Damon up like a firework? What are you talking about?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Thanks, Jody Haskett.
That's the boxing.
I'm trying everything.
I think that's the boxing talking there.
BBQ Rando on YouTube said donate for Delgado's beard. So they're talking about that as well. They're worried about your beard, Rick, pulling through.
I guess so.
I'm pulling out.
You're one of those Santa Claus beers.
Oh, my God.
Chat. What's going on, chat? Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, follow wherever you're on. Big D, what's going on?
was in the
Super
chat
Cymatic on X.
Oh, chat's flying now. Look at this.
What's going on X, Facebook, YouTube, Getter, Rumble, Tommy Viper.
Tommy Viper in the chat. Yeah, Becky Snyder, Ruby Ivy. We got a few in there. Moon Pie, of course. Every night Moon Pie's there.
Hello, Carol on Facebook.
Sue Sabelborough.
Harry Oates.
Harry's on Facebook.
Harry's on Facebook.
I think
Harry
Harry's at an
Oates in the
Italian
chat.
restaurant having a drink somewhere.
Harry Oates in the chat. Harry's, how's Texas doing? Harry missed his connection to Arizona. He's stuck in Texas for 3 hours.
Oh, boy.
So everybody show Harry some love in the Facebook chat. He needs some stuff to do, so read some of your comments.
Harry.
Oh, my goodness.
Harry, don't fall asleep on the couch there in the waiting room there. Wherever
Harry!
Wouldn't that be hilarious? He fell asleep and missed his
And
flight.
someone said, Harry, get your fat ass off the couch. Let's go, Harry. Come on.
I went out for drinks with Harry, and you know that I'm not up to that. You know that. Oh boy, that was not easy.
Who picked up
Not
that
easy.
check?
Harry knows who picked it. Harry's out the.
It's 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Back off the commercial break, and during the commercial break, we realized that the great Harry on the Highway is in the chat on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, say hi to Harry on the Highway in there. And Harry missed his connection flight.
That's a good song, by the way. Harry on the Highway. I'm gonna have to write something.
Okay, very good. We'll look forward to that.
Thank you.
Harry missed his connection to Arizona, where he's going to be with J.D. Vance tomorrow.
Oh,
Nice.
So now he's stuck in Texas for 3 hours. But I mean, there's worse places you could be stuck, I would think.
yeah. You just find
Texas
a good
is
bar.
awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be
spent
something to
time
do.
there.
Texas, go get
Harry
a
will
hat.
find a
Go
nice
get a
bar.
cowboy hat while you're there, Harry.
Get some barbecue.
He'll find
Get
a
some
nice
barbecue. Get a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Listen to some Delbert.
I'll name the dog.
Go visit Jerry.
Yeah, you can listen to Blake.
I'll name the dog.
Yeah, I'll
right?
name the dogs. Blake Shelton. That's one of Vince's favorite songs.
Thank you.
I used to play for him back in the day.
Yeah.
We used to do a segment on Live from Studio 6B with that used to be a music segment.
Yeah. The Daily
Used to
Dalbert.
be million seller.
Oh.
That's right.
We
We
play
were quite-
songs and we would decide whether they were going to be million sellers or if the artist was going to have 1 million copies in their cellar.
That was my favorite part of Friday afternoon, was looking for that music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We had some funny songs there.
Vin had a collection of things that somehow he used to end up wearing during Million Seller. I don't know where they'd come from, under the desk or something.
What is that?
Well, you used to just have all kinds of stuff during that segment up here. Hats and swords and I don't know. You just had, right, friend?
Wow.
Didn't Vin have a collection of stuff that used to just...
There was a magic prop box somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. A magic prop box. The Vin Buda magic
I was
prop
like
box.
Gallagher, the magician, and
Exactly.
pulling stuff out.
Exactly what it was.
I broke a watermelon on the table.
Just about. So, all right, 19 past the hour. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. MyPillow. LFSXB is the code to use when you shop at MyPillow. Great stuff as we head into the... Well, we're almost full into the holiday season. I walked into Costco the other day and I saw Christmas trees.
Oh, no.
Dude, where have
It's
you
all
been?
out.
They've been there since July.
Well, there you go. I just saw them now for the first time, so we're there.
Yeah.
So LFS6B is the code to use if you're going to shop at MyPillow. You could do all your holiday shopping at MyPillow. They have that much stuff. Between mystore.com and mypillow.com, our code works at both. You could do all your shopping at both.
He needs to come out with My Christmas Tree. You know, that might be the next thing to get the holiday stuff out.
I don't know. Could he do Christmas trees? I don't know.
Why not?
That's maybe. I'm not sure.
You can do it.
Yeah.
LFS6B is the code to use, though. Slick, what's going on in sports?
Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. Okay, Here we go. We got Major League Baseball, Big D. How about those Mets? They did pull it out. They finished off the Phillies 7-2 with the victory. Just went final, and the Mets now lead that series 2-1. NLDS. Mets looking to win one more game, and then they will play against, well, either the Padres or the Dodgers, who they get it on tonight at 9:08. That's the first pitch. That series is tied at 1. They're in San Diego. Dodgers are one of the better teams in baseball. The great Shohei Ohtani, the two-pronged threat pitch. He can hit, he can steal, he can run. Guy's an incredible talent, so we'll see. But Dodgers, I think, would be the odds-on favorite now. Phillies, I don't think they're going to go quietly, though. I think they'll have something to say, and that series is far from over, but good to see the Mets in control.
Hey, Frank, can we try to call Harry in the airport on Skype, see what he's doing?
I don't want to.
He's at the bar. I don't think
he's
there's
at the
any question
bar,
about it.
and he's sitting next to a guy, and he gets up and tells the waitress, "Oh, that's my friend. He's got the bill." He's right up to the gate.
All right, I'll leave it up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to. Go ahead, Slick.
Oh,
Sports continue.
Okay, that would have been too much fun. Let's go right to the stories. Well, the Jets tossed their Saleh today. Jets fire head coach Robert Saleh after a rocky start. Tension with Rodgers.
I guess that's one way to put
I
it.
pulled that one right out of my hat.
I'll take the check, please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm in town all week. Try to veal.
Yeah, I like that one, Slick. I like that one. Right
I didn't hear that one anywhere but here. So there you go. They tossed him, and we won't get into it. But there's a lot of speculation that there could be the great, maybe Bill Belichick coming to the Jets. Would he take that job? That'd be awfully interesting. We will see. I mean, we're going to definitely keep an eye on that. Jets right now having a rough season. Obviously, they were in London. They lost to the Vikings, but the real rub, I think, was that Denver game. I think that's really where he kind of lost it. And they, like you said, Woody just had it with him, and he's moving on. So we'll see what happens. But Salah's gone. We got boxing news today, Big D. Listen to this one now. We got boxing. Olympics are now thinking about going back to testing, doing a sex testing. UN advisor calls to reinstate sex testing in boxing after Olympic controversies. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. A UN advisor has issued a report, you guys were talking about boxing earlier, right? Calling for sex testing to be reinstated for international boxing after 2 controversial boxers won gold at the Paris Olympics this year. The IBA disqualified Khalif fighting in the 66-kilogram division and Taiwanese fighter Lin Yongting fighting in the 57-kilogram division from fighting in its women's tournaments in March 2023 on the grounds that they failed unspecified tests to confirm that they fit the governing body's definition of a woman. IBA President Umar Kremlev told the Russian news agency TASS at the time that Lin and Khalif had XY chromosomes, the genetic makeup of a human male. Both boxers have claimed they are women, and in Khalif's case, a birth certificate attesting to being female at birth was produced. The new report by UN advisor Reem Aslam insists that reinstating sex testing will prevent controversies such as those that happened at this year's Olympics. We know it's a travesty. In fact, President Trump, on a lot of his rallies, he talks about the Italian boxer, the woman, she got a jab, and right, he gets into the whole description. I see him run that a lot, so I'm glad to see he's obviously up being concerned about women's sports, and well, hopefully they reinstate this, Big D. I think it'd be a good move, and that's my opinion.
Well, it's the only move. I mean not only is it a good move,
you can't have this woman in men's sports, like I always say, it's nuts, literally. So that's good. So we don't want to see Lee's ting in the boxing ring, that's for sure. And,
keep your ting over.
That's it.
Keep it over there. If you have a ting, you fight in this. Yeah, exactly.
Go hit the heavy bag with that. Anyway, that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
That's exactly right, Slick.
Wow.
Very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use. Let's do some news. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition on the website, livefromstudio6b.com. 15% off. Great supplements, nutrition, vitamins, all available at livefromstudio6b.com. Check them out. 15% off. The whole entire line with more stuff to come. Rick Delgado, what's going on?
Well, I don't know how to follow that. I mean, he starts with tossing salad and then and hitting the bag.
He ended with Lee's ting.
Yeah, exactly. Lee's ting.
You can't follow it. You just be you.
I'll just do a couple things that I found that I think are pretty interesting. Of course, we were talking about this last night. Elon Musk did a sit down with Tucker Carlson, and one of the big clips that came out talks about if Trump doesn't win and the possible ramifications, which could happen to him. This is cut number 1. Take a listen to this. Here's Elon with Tucker.
If he loses, man, what?
If he loses, I'm
It does seem that way. You can't just be like,
yeah, I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think? Will I see my children? I don't know.
because it's not like you can say, well, yeah, I maxed out to him, but I get.
I have no plausible deniability. No, and I've been trashing Kamala nonstop.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so that was from his sit down with Tucker Carlson.
I said this morning. Have you ever seen someone with more money, power, influence, position not give two F's about what they say?
I've never seen
as
that
guy.
I love that guy.
And
he just does not give
He's
a
amazing.
crap.
No, but to kind of add to what he was talking about, just all you have to do is look to the left, and you'll see somebody like Keith Olbermann, cut number 18.
Oh, he lost his mind
and
today.
This is what happens if Donald Trump loses, because this is what they're calling for. Here's cut 18.
Time to cancel all the contracts and reassess his immigration status and hopefully deport him the hell out of the country. And if we can't do that by conventional means, President Biden, you have presidential immunity. Get Elon Musk the F out of our country and do it now.
Yeah, from the mouth of Keith Olbermann.
I mean,
that's what the left is these days.
How could you take him seriously anymore? He's lost his mind.
Hillary Clinton, too. She went on a major rant about this. The entire First Amendment, just, thrown it out the window.
Can't have that.
I will do more of this when we get back. 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B right after this.
Harry's not online. I tried.
Come on, Harry, get off the couch and answer your phone.
Harry!
It rang once and he hung up.
Get on the Skype, Harry. Text him, DC. Come The blasting couch.
Are live in the chat. What's going on? X, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Getter, wherever you are. Make sure you hit the like, thumbs up, subscribe.
I'm glad they're finally getting to this sex testing stuff because
Yeah.
all of these college sports, all of this stuff. How is this even possible? How is it logical? What's wrong with these people?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's beyond political.
It's incredible. You got 13-year-old guy playing volleyball, breaks a girl's face apart, blows her nose apart on a spiked ball.
Yeah.
How could that be?
Hello, Janice on Facebook. Pamela on Facebook. Hello from Oregon. What's going on, Bucky's fan? What's going on YouTube?
That'd be right if we can get Harry on. He might be on the plane.
I want you to know, Damon bought me a nice sandwich today.
Thank you very much.
Very
really?
nice sandwich.
Wait, a
Yes,
scrub
it was
way?
It was roast beef tartare. I believe it was roast beef tartare.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
It was very good.
It was a very
Yeah.
good sandwich.
Thank you. I don't mess around.
It was a little hysterical.
He's got the deli slicer down there.
I'll take an extra schmear of listeria on there. Thank you.
Delgado, you're looking good, Patty says on YouTube. Damon's just
Patty.
jealous.
Damon's jealous. Slick is jealous.
Yeah,
She
Patty.
figured it
Look
out.
at that. Yeah.
Thank you.
She got it.
You got both guns going on that one.
Figured it out.
Absolutely.
Damn it.
Charlene, Damon, enjoying your morning show on Facebook. Thank you very much.
Hey, you
Thank
start
you very
that morning
much.
show? I got to get on that. I'm so busy in the day. I like to come on there. Have you been on that show?
You
Vinny
guys,
Mac?
you have the link. All you got to do is click on it. It
I know,
brings
I
you
gotta-
right into the studio any morning you want.
9
been on
a.m.,
it.
right?
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
forget.
Between 9 and 10.
Okay.
I got to get out of bed.
Whenever the coffee's ready. Whenever Big D's got the coffee ready. No, you're up early in the morning, right? You're still up early with the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not me. Sometimes I look at the clock. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, my God. It's 10 after 11.
What am I doing? What the heck am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then I got a very simple process. I go to the bagel store. I get an egg sandwich, coffee
Okay.
at about noon.
Nice.
Very
Up at the crack of noon.
Crack of noon for breakfast.
Yeah. Nothing like it.
Yeah. I get the little slow starter there once in a while.
Nothing wrong with that. We've all put in many early days. Delgado, he's up at
Damon,
4
how
in the
do I
morning.
get the morning show? It's on everything. Minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Friend Harry said he tried calling back on Skype. No one answered, so I'm sure.
I'm not actively looking at it while I'm doing other things during the show.
I'm sure that was intentional. But, yeah.
Well, Fran gave him the wrong number. So
yeah, call this number, Harry.
Call this number.
We'll pick you up at 10:05. All right, let's do some more news, and then with Vinnie Mac, we'll do some what's on his mind. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition, available at livefromstudio6b.com. 15% off the entire line right now. Delgado, we're going to do the news, but hold on. Let's go live.
No. Breaking.
Let's go. Breaking news.
Breaching.
Let's go live to an airport somewhere in the heart of Texas to speak to our own Harry on the highway.
Oh, he's probably in Fort Worth.
Harry on the highway. Well, Harry
on the tarmac.
No, I mean, this is what I don't understand.
Harry's doing aerobics right now. There you go, Harry.
There you go, Harry. That's at least
You're
somewhat
not in the next
better.
room, are you?
What are you doing?
I'm at TGIF Fridays, just having a little chicken fingers.
You're at TGIF. You're at Fridays?
Yeah, in the airport.
Okay.
What airport? Fort Worth?
What airport are you in?
Fort Worthless.
Fort Worth?
We were an hour delayed. I could have made my connection, but the luggage wouldn't have made it without the camera gear. Obviously, what would I be doing here? So here we are.
Has anybody recognized you on this trip so far, Harry, on the highway?
Just the people next to me wondering who I'm talking to.
All right, I'll put them on.
Maybe I'll pick up your tab.
Let me give him a good, how you doing? How you doing?
I heard this whole tab pickup thing. I paid for Vin. His one drink.
He did.
Wow.
He did. And you know what? I had no
Breaking
cash.
news.
I had no cash, and he gave me money to tip the valet guy, too.
I always get Harry for that. I always, wherever we go.
He told me that, by the way.
I'm always grabbing $5 from Harry for the valet. I never have cash.
Harry always has cash.
I think I probably in 20 years owe Harry about $1,000 in fives.
I'm a cheap date, Harry. You know that.
Yeah.
Little Vinny's all the time. He'll order the menu and then say, "Oh, I forgot it's cash."
That's why he always wants to go to Little Vinny's Big D. Now I got it.
I'll have a steak sandwich, and I forgot.
Well, Harry, what are you going to do for 3 hours? You're going to watch the show, obviously. What else?
I'm going to watch the show, and hopefully this flight's not canceled because we have to be there at 6 a.m. in the morning to set up.
Okay.
All right, well, this is riveting, Harry.
All right, Harry. Well, safe travels. Thanks for calling in.
Buy me a Cowboys shirt while you're down here.
All right, Harry. We'll talk to you later.
Keep in touch.
All right, there he goes. Harry on the highway in Fort Worth, Texas, on his way to Arizona for J.D. Vance tomorrow.
That's riveting stuff.
Harry bringing the heat on Studio 6B.
And he's in professional TV, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we can't.
I didn't miss that.
We couldn't get the 16:9 shot out of
That's
Harry.
it. His career's on the horizon.
We got the
right?
TikTok version. So, all right, Delgado, what's going on in the news?
Well, we were talking about this earlier. If Joe Biden is actually purposely undermining Kamala Harris, so we go to some of the things that were said. We were talking about earlier in terms of Kamala Harris from the tarmac. We'll get Ron DeSantis' response, and of course, President Biden chiming in as well as he praised GOP Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for being cooperative and doing a great job when it comes to the hurricane. Meanwhile, NBC News reported on Monday that DeSantis was denying phone calls from Harris's team. And of course, this is what she had to say when this was brought up. This is Kamala Harris. I lost my clip. Wait, give me a second. Here she is. Here it is. This is cut number 12. Kamala Harris talking about Ron DeSantis politicizing the hurricane. Here it is, cut 12.
President, Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games at this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Yeah, like you did in North Carolina.
Have you ever heard so many words and say so little? We don't even know who she's talking about. She doesn't even name him.
Have they even confirmed
anything? She doesn't address him. She doesn't say anything to his name. We don't even know if that... Just saying nothing.
And it's just the opposite. She is the one that made it political. This guy's out in every city in Florida doing stuff.
There could be a backstory.
She is
to
the
this.
one.
Yeah,
typical left liberal doing the opposite of saying the opposite of what they're actually doing.
Yep.
Well, that's the way they operate there, Vin. And of course, well, as we all know, Ron DeSantis was not having any of this.
Yeah.
Again, this is the Ron DeSantis we should have seen on the campaign trail for president. He just didn't show up. Unfortunately, hopefully next time he'll get it together. But here he is responding to Kamala Harris's criticism from the Sean Hannity show. Check this out. This is cut number 13.
And so for Kamala Harris to try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. And so what I think is selfish is her trying to blunder into this. No, and here's the thing. She has no role. No, she has no role in this process. I'm in contact with the President of the United States. I'm in contact with FEMA director. I'm obviously managing all our state agencies. We're supporting all our local government. And I will say this. I've had storms under both President Trump and President Biden, and I've worked well with both of them. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign.
Yeah, and of course, the icing on the cake of this is, of course, Kamala Harris, whatever her stupid name is, Carmela Soprano, is her boss. Going on, and of course coming out to defend her. No, of course he didn't do that. This is cut number 14. He actually praises Governor Ron DeSantis.
By the way, he held this meeting at the exact moment she went on The View.
Yes. Again, it's the counter programming. You can't make this stuff up. Here's cut number 14.
Go, Joe.
Biden praising DeSantis.
The governor of Florida has been cooperative. He said he's gotten all that he needs. I talked to him again yesterday, and I said, no, you're doing a great job. It's all being done well. We thank you for it. And I literally gave my personal phone number to call.
Yeah, so there you have it.
He's doing the right thing as protocol. He's talking to the president.
As opposed to his 900 number, which costs like $2.95 a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you have it from President Biden undercutting his his
Joe
underling.
Joe Noria.
Go down in a ball of flame so bad. The good doctor, she's behind it all.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Joe, she's going on The View. Do something at 10 o'clock, quick.
It makes you wonder if he had anything to do with her teleprompter going out.
That could be. I will do some more news with Rick Delgado coming up. Let's do some news now, or some thoughts with Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac, what's going on?
Oh, a lot of Facebook battles, a lot of controversy. But before I get into what's really bugging me, I do want to give a shout out. We've been talking about Ron DeSantis. And I don't know if you folks know, I got a place down there in Sarasota. I know exactly what's happening. There's debris everywhere from the first hurricane. It's all on the side of the roads. And DeSantis said something to me, said something today that really stuck with me. He made a comment that, hey, these companies that we hired, that the towns hired to clear the debris after the last hurricane, they didn't do their job. So what did he do? He opened up state agencies. He called in federal resources. He brought in people to take all the stuff off the streets immediately, and he's being very effective at it, because you can imagine 150 mile an hour wind blowing a door across the place. So I want to give kudos to Ron DeSantis and say hi to all of my friends down in Sarasota who might be watching. So be safe. This is a tough one. One of the things that was bugging me, there's two things that are bugging me. One is FEMA, but the first one is we had talked about this when the debate went on with Vance, the vice presidential debate. And I think our back and forth was, does it really matter? Is this debate going to have an effect on anybody or anything? I'll have to say, it did, and it has. It has, because this guy is so strong. Everything I look at and see regarding the result of this debate and the posturing and the view now of J.D. Vance has changed. I think, Rick, you even said, hey, this guy's looking really strong. I wish he were president. Was that you or was that Slick? Well, it was one of the two of you guys saying that, and I think a lot of people
just said
feel
his friend thought his friend would like to see him president.
Yes, my friend. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. So that presidential debate had an impact, and it had an impact in a big way, I think, on the Trump campaign. In general, the numbers are up. Vance did great, but at the end of the day, here's a guy that can actually articulate what is really happening. And that is something, I think, not, of course, the left, they can't articulate anything because they have no idea what's happening between Waltz and Harris. But, Trump can ramble on a little bit, and Vance gets to it. They're a perfect combination, from that stance. And also, the next 4 years, perfect training grounds for a guy like that can take another 8 years and lead us out of everything we possibly can get out of now, which is what we're hoping can happen. So I've had a few Facebook battles on this because they're like, Vance, he lied. He lied through it. It was fact checked, and it just drives me nuts because they were only fact checked one thing he said. But the moral of the story is this is a strong candidate. We should all be proud of a guy like this as Americans who could possibly lead this country. So that's been on my mind. And this FEMA thing, it is driving me crazy because we know FEMA spent a lot of money on illegals. Now they can do that. Not illegal for them to do that. But they spent so much money on illegals. Now we're having to chase and scrimp and save to help people that really need the money now and need the resources now. I was an interview with some folks in North Carolina where they were offered $350.
Ooh.
$350 for a house that was completely destroyed and gone. Other people are being offered a few $100s here and there. FEMA's not doing anything. They're not really helping these people. My friends on the left are going nuts because they're telling me FEMA's doing all this stuff and it's wrong information, and what they hear are the governors praising them and so on. If you're a governor, are you going to diss FEMA? No, you need them to help you. You're going to say what you need to say. If you're a citizen, however, who's being interviewed, and if the real news agencies out there want to actually get the truth, you interview the people in the streets who are telling the truth, and they're telling you flat out, they're not here. There's no federal help here. And when they do show up, they're offering me a few $100. I just lost my house. Are you out of your mind? And that's what's going on. So I get in another Facebook battle on this. I've been going for 3 days on this one. I got to document this one time for the show here because 3 days I'm getting hammered by people telling me I'm out of my mind that FEMA's doing all this stuff. And I'm like, that is not the case.
Well, they are. They just shipped, according to this from MC Masters on Twix, shipped 3 pallets of electric chainsaws to a community that's
in the desert
without power. So that's good.
No, that's intelligent. Good planning.
So they got chainsaws they can't use.
You got short circuit.
So they're doing something, Vince.
It's a slap in the face to all of us as Americans when you know that 150 hotels are being funded by FEMA with migrants in them in New York City, and they can't get the people and the resources to the people that actually need the help. And after this storm, let me tell you something. The bar is going to be raised at a level I don't think we've ever seen in this country with all of these storms that have had an impact. They better step up.
Have you seen, Vin, you weren't here yesterday. Maybe we should let you in on a little FEMA information on how they run their meetings to plan for these disasters.
Yeah.
If you saw that, you might be a little more informed on how we got to here. So we'll do that when we get back. We'll get Vinny's reaction to that. Plus, we'll do some more sports. John Solomon with big news this morning on FEMA and how we got here. I'll cover that as well. All coming up.
Gets involved. If Hank Johnson gets involved, Florida's tipping over.
Florida could tip over.
Oh my God!
I don't think there's any tipping. It just will sink, unfortunately.
It's going to tip over.
Tip over. It's going to tip over.
You think there's a possibility that it could
tip over?
Tip over. The funniest goddamn clip.
Why are people putting 1 in the chat? I haven't asked any questions between. I'm I'm seeing a lot of ones in the chat.
Maybe somebody else.
did.
Maybe they're just saying you're number one.
Maybe you're not in control of the chat there, Dame.
Good point.
How about that?
I don't know that we ever were.
I did not know that.
Wouldn't chainsaws normally run on gas, by the way?
They do make electric versions. Yeah.
Oh, who the hell uses an electric chainsaw?
version of a chainsaw?
They do.
Yeah.
They make it, but
that
no.
thing couldn't cut the hair on your chin.
Yeah, Del Norocco.
You need a long cord for the electric chainsaw. I think I used an electric chainsaw once. You know how
they have electric snow blowers. Of course, they have electric chainsaws. They have electric lawnmowers.
Yep.
Slick Rick has one.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got that little patch in front of his.
You believe 1 minute I have a lawnmower?
I saw the electric mowers actually look pretty good. You know who I saw do is our buddy Skip.
Oh, really?
Skip Bedell. Skip Tips.
He does a Fox.
Yeah, Skip's on Fox and Friends.
Yeah.
And he always does all the new products. Skip had I saw it at his house. I was there. I saw the electric lawnmower. It's pretty cool.
Nobody's thinking though at FEMA. Nobody's thinking. They're sending electric chainsaws to places with no power. It's almost like they don't have anyone in charge that knows anything about it.
Well, they do have somebody in charge. He's at least one guy. Vin.
Okay, we're going to talk about it.
We'll show you the meeting.
This guy's the master.
Yeah.
He's the master planner. Yes, no question.
We'll see what you think of this meeting.
Yeah.
All right, if you're in the chat, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, whatever channel you're on. We appreciate it if you'd follow us.
Is there an ETA on landfall for this thing? Is it tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning.
They said electric chainsaws are here in communist California. Jeremy Mansker, you got to love that. And it does feel like a communist country sometimes down in a communist state. I love the state, but oh man, brutal.
God, remember when we went out there for that eye thing?
Oh yeah.
I could not believe when we landed and started driving around what it looked like.
Yeah.
This is L.A.?
I was there through COVID and through the riots.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. So, talking about FEMA.
Yeah.
Vin, you weren't here yesterday.
Thank you.
And, well, FEMA, I'm not sure how long ago this was, had a preparation meeting on how they thought some of this money should be distributed and what the goals should be when disaster strikes. And here's how that sounded. Turn up your ears. Roll that, Aaron.
Sparked a few things in my mind, thinking about preparedness and how you said, LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that. It's just compounding on itself. And I think that is maybe the why of why we're having these discussions, is because it isn't being talked about. It isn't being socialized. We're not paying attention to this community. Thank you so much. Maggie.
Thank you. There are a couple of things that are intersecting in my mind here. One of them is the culture of emergency management as an organization, as an industry in the United States specifically, not abroad. This has, and my cat sometimes does this, she gets really loud suddenly, so you'll have to just allow for the little meowing in the background.
Thank you. Get JD Vance quick.
The shift that we're seeing right now is a shift in emergency management from utilitarian principles where everything is designed for the greatest good, for the greatest amount of people, to disaster equity. But we have to do more, right? And so this topic is intersecting, I think, with a number of other topics where we have to look at policies and understand to what extent they have disadvantaged communities that had less assets, communities that had pre-existing vulnerabilities in accessing disaster-related recovery supports.
Yeah.
Oh my! Hey, lady, keep in touch with yourself, okay? Please.
And to follow is a 4-hour talk about what is the pronoun for Hurricane Milton.
Kevin McCarthy was on Gutfeld the other night, and he went off on a rant about how the woke policies and the injection of wokeism in all of these agencies have been so proliferated. They're across the board everywhere. And here we just saw it. We're talking about the need to help people, and they're worrying about how it's affecting the LGBT community. How about just everybody? How about people?
Well, you know what,
how about
Vin,
just people?
But they start with already so much going against them.
Yeah.
So when, those floodwaters come in, they specifically target these gay houses and they make them float away that much faster. And when a tornado comes ripping through and it picks up that gay or transgender house and it throws it across the state, it did it because they're gay or transgender.
And don't forget about the
rainbows.
rainbows.
You didn't know that.
Don't forget when that rainbow comes out.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
When that rainbow comes out and says, you know what? Here. Try to find this pot of gold.
That is weird, wacky stuff. You wonder why nothing is run efficiently. Even when we see some of the things in the military, which thank goodness we still have some great generals, but we've seen some of the people in the military that have used this woke way of thinking. And FEMA, it's so obvious now. Thank you for sharing that, because I'm wondering, how can they be this incompetent? How is it possible? It is possible when you hire people who aren't qualified because they fit a certain profile of a skin color or a sexuality or something like that. You just can't do stuff like this. Would you do that? No, I know we wouldn't here, but if you wanted to create something, a business or something, wouldn't you just hire the best people? I mean, just the best people. Black, white, orange, green, gay, straight, right? You don't care.
Yeah.
You just want the best people, especially when it comes to saving lives. It's upside down, and shame on the administration. I've gone on this rant a few times about leadership, and we see leadership from Trump on a daily basis. This is a guy that is a leader. He's everywhere. He is there. This is what weak leadership gives you. It gives you stupidity like this that costs lives. They better get their act together. I don't know if we can afford to have Florida affected with incompetence after what they're going to go through tomorrow.
Well, that's why you rely on you have the best governor in the country, so you rely on him.
That guy,
the standard bearer for what every Republican governor should be. What
every governor,
what a governor could achieve is he's the standard bearer. He sets the ceiling for what you can actually achieve as an executive of a state if you want to. At least for the red states. We've talked about this multiple times. If we can't make red states as red as they can make blue states blue, we're doing something wrong. That's what we need to focus on.
And it's so apparent, with a guy like DeSantis, that he cares about results for the people he serves. That's his first and foremost thing. And when you care about results for the people that you supposedly represent, you do the things that he's doing. He is a real executive. He could be a CEO of anything because he's so good. You can't say that about half of these hacks that have no idea what they're doing.
No clue.
No idea how to lead.
Yeah, he's good.
You look at Biden and Kamala Harris, they have no idea how to lead.
Never.
Trump obviously does. DeSantis, man, thank God DeSantis is the governor of Florida, because they are going to need every bit of what he can bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. True. All right, good points, Vinny. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use at checkout. We appreciate when you do use it. Slickster's got it. What's going on?
Opening night in the NHL. That's what's going on tonight, Big D. And ironically, it's in Florida, the first game. The Panthers right now leading the Bruins 5-1 in Amerant Stadium, which I believe is more on the eastern coast of Florida, but everybody's obviously looking at, being careful and get ready to evacuate. But yes, NHL opened up tonight in Florida. Panthers again lead 5-1, 10 minutes to go in the second period. And the Blues sound like the Blues right there. They opened up a bottle of Kraken, all right, and they beat the Seattle Kraken in Seattle earlier this evening, 3-2. And the Blackhawks are taking on the Utah Hockey Club, and that's a 10 p.m. puck drop. Mets game, and we gave it to you earlier. They beat the Phillies 7-2, and the Dodgers taking on the Padres out in San Diego. First pitch in about 10 minutes. So we'll give you up to date on that.
Hey, Slick, what's with Utah Hockey Club?
Utah's expansion
why is that
team.
Name?
It's an expansion team. They added a team to the league.
I mean, why call it the Utah Hockey Club?
They don't have a name yet.
They didn't officially come up with a name. I don't know. It's a whole Yeah, I there's probably a backstory to that I'm not aware of. But yeah, hockey club, that's a real original. And some sad news, guys. We lost a legend last week in the baseball world. We lost another one just a few hours ago. Ex-Major League Baseball star Louis Tiant, dead at 83. Tiant was a 3-time All-Star. Ryan Gatos of Fox News. Louis Tiant, a 3-time MLB All-Star who pitched for the Boston Red Sox, among other teams, has died. He was 83. Tiant who was lovingly known in baseball circles as El Tiante, died on Tuesday. A team source told the Boston Globe. Major League Baseball announced Tiant's death as well. We are deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Louis Tiant. The league said on X, in a major league career that spanned 19 seasons, El Tiante made 3 All-Star teams and won 20 or more games 4 times. Tiant won 2 ERA titles in the AL, one in 68 for Cleveland and another in 72 for Boston. The Cuban native also pitched for the Yankees, Twins, Pirates, and Angels. He was 83. Former Red Sox outfielder Fred Lynn, the great Fred Lynn, right? And others paid tribute to Tiant. Today is a very sad day. Lynn wrote on X along with a picture of himself and Tiant. My friends and teammates, Louis Tiant passed away. A big game pitcher, a funny, genuine guy who loved his family and baseball. I miss him already. Rest in peace, my friend. Remember, what was his commercial? I want to be with a wiener, right? He did that. Remember that?
Yes,
his
commercial.
The great
he was doing the Ballpark Frank.
I want to be with the wiener. He was just absolutely spectacular.
He was a great pitcher. Very entertaining, too. You know, his whole motion, the way he spun around.
The way he spun around, looked at center field.
Yeah.
Yes. Remember that? Oh, that was incredible. And those were back in the 70s, but those were some great Red Sox teams, right? I remember that World Series in 75 with my Reds that the Reds won. And that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. We'll get to more sports and more news, more thoughts with Vinnie Mac, all coming up. Hour 2. Plus, who's joining us tonight from, is it Andy Mangion from AMAC?
Yes.
Is going to join us at 9:30, so we'll speak to him as well. Lots to do. Hour 2 coming up, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, right after this.
Oh, that terrorist. That guy. There's a lot of bad guys out there right now.
See, the way you said you said it, you said FBI was arrested outside. That's what threw me.
The FBI finally doing their job.
Well, and dribs and dribs.
I'm monitoring this hurricane, man. It's
a monster. It's got to drop. By the grace of God, it's got to drop to a 3 by the time it hits the waters there in Tampa and cuts down to 125, which is still absolutely devastating. Even that.
I was telling someone there's most of Florida is 2 feet above sea level at a high tide. The last storm was about a 6 to 8 foot surge, caused a lot of damage on the beaches, but not too far inland. 10 to 15 feet. That puts the entire city of Tampa underwater. 10 to 15 feet. It's a tidal wave.
I literally have family there.
In Tampa?
They have to stay there.
They have to stay?
Yeah, because my brother-in-law, his wife is a dispatcher for the police department. So she's first responder. She's got to be right there doing the dispatch, and he doesn't want to leave her, so he's staying. My brother-in-law's a retired detective, 30 years, so hopefully they'll let him hang out there because that could get real ugly. I don't know where in Tampa that they actually have where she works, but it's in that Tampa.
Yeah,
they live in Tampa. It's in the Tampa St. Pete area. How far from the water, like you said, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That surge is going to wipe everything out. So obviously, we're praying big time.
DeSantis has put field agents in most of these cities for emergency rescue. He's been proactively putting them in there. So there's going to be support, there. But yeah, that's the scary part of this thing is that storm surge. The rain, not so much. But the storm surge, big time.
But that wind has to cut down. It can't come in at 160, 170. It'll blow them right off the map. I mean, 125 is devastating. And some people, they're trying to get out. Some people ran out of gas. People just, and then people don't listen. They say that people in Tampa aren't really that familiar with this, a storm of this.
You remember the hurricane we had here, Sandy, one of them, the big one.
Oh, Sandy, that was, about
we
10
were
years,
stuck
10
for
years
8
ago,
days,
right?
could not get out of the house, finally got out of the house. There was no gas. I got to a gas station 5 in the morning because I heard they were getting gas. A line of people there already. I was third. By 5 o'clock that afternoon, gas truck showed up. This line of people, guy pulled a gun, cut the line. That's how crazy stuff can get.
All right, hour 2, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Rick Delgado's got the news. Vinnie Mac's got some thoughts on what's going on in the world. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Lots to get to in hour 2 as we obviously keep an eye on this hurricane that's going to hit Florida. I guess tomorrow morning?
Yeah, landfall tomorrow morning. That's what they're calling for.
Right? I mean, right now it's still, Category 5? One of the guys who were looking at said it should be a Category 6 if there was such a thing.
But Category 5 still.
Yeah, it's approaching maximum storm strength as high as 200 miles per hour. Yeah, I'm reading the same story. Milton threatens to reach max limits, sparking calls for a new Category 6 designation.
Wow.
Because this one is this bad. It's according to this, I'm at a loss for words to meteorologist. Whatever.
Meteorologist.
Yeah. No, not meteorologist. Meteorologically describe the storm and its intensity. Started as it's forming as a 5. Earlier today, it was downgraded to a 4 after hitting Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula with a glancing blow. But by tonight, they're predicting it's reaching 5 level again.
Wow.
Because the water in the Gulf is so warm.
It's so warm, yeah.
It's like mid 80s, if not high 80s, the water temperature.
It's got to go down.
I love, by the way, but not good for a hurricane.
It's got to go to a 3. It has to before it hits the land.
Yeah, according to this professor, Michael E. Mann tweeted that Milton might have actually breached the 192 Cat 6 cutoff. So, scary times for people down in Florida in that part of the country.
You were saying during the break, Finn, I actually thought it was important. You should probably say it during the show, is that most people don't realize that Florida's 2 feet above?
Yeah, 2 feet above sea level. So, and that's at high tide. So a storm surge of a few feet. If you're near the beaches, it comes across and so on. The last hurricane was 6 to 8 feet, and you saw the damage that occurred there. This hurricane, they're looking at 10, 15 feet. Which essentially would put a city like Tampa underwater for a period of time, but underwater, and not by a little. That's equivalent to a tidal wave, coming in. That's a 10-foot wall of water, coming across. So it's devastating for any coastal area on the Gulf side. On the ocean side, when it gets across, it's going to be a surge, but not like that. So they have to deal with the wind and all that stuff. But if you're on that coast, Naples, Fort Myers, which has been underwater 3 times in the last 2 years. Literally underwater. I was there. Underwater, several feet above buildings I've seen where they've had to rebuild. So that's why this thing is super, super dangerous.
Yeah. Not survivable.
No.
Those kind of storm surges is not survivable.
You got to be smart. And I can only speak for Sarasota because I hear those alerts every day because, I'm down there. But they have cleared everybody out of the coastal islands that are there, Longboat Key, Siesta Key, Lido Beach, all those places that are, they've just said, you're out. They shut all access and you're gone. And there's always some Yahoo that says, I'm going to stay. It's never happened. But this is a 100-year storm. This is an unprecedented storm.
Yeah, 100-year storm. This is Bodie-like 100-year
storm.
Heading down to
One of my
Australia
favorite movies.
to ride a 50-foot wave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Got to go down, man.
Yeah,
I saw some story tonight. Some guy in his boat, lives on his boat, will not leave.
He's
he
toast.
He won't have a choice.
He's toast.
I mean, yeah, he's going to leave
He's
the
gonna
boat
leave, yeah.
one way or the other. It's just
That boat's
he's
coming
going to
on
do it,
land.
or the storm's going to take him from it. But he's going to leave the boat.
Yeah, that boat will flip on land. That's what people don't understand. It's not when it hits land. It's not the ocean anymore. There are barriers. There are obstructions. Those things are going to roll.
All right, lots to do in hour 2. We'll keep an eye on the storm, obviously, tomorrow morning. By tomorrow night, I don't know if there's any chance for this thing to lighten up or change direction or anything, but it doesn't look like it. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. All day we'll be following it. We'll report, obviously, tomorrow night. Obviously, we'll have President Trump tomorrow night as well. He has a rally. I believe slated to start around 7, but obviously, as we know, that could be 7:30, 8 o'clock. So we'll be covering that in at least the first hour of the show. And then on Friday, so what's the deal with Friday, Aaron? Friday, Trump's got another event?
Yeah, it's 5:30 Pacific, so 8:30 our time, Eastern.
8:30. So we'll be covering Trump 8:30 on Friday night as well. So we'll have to do the odds makers.
Oh, yeah, we got to get the odds makers
before that. So,
yep.
All right, let's do. There's some breaking news, I guess today or tonight, or I don't know how long ago this broke. I saw it on John Solomon. I saw John Solomon talking about it on the 6 o'clock show. Delgado, you have that story?
Yeah, this is coming from John Solomon's Just the News. An Afghan refugee, one of those things that Kamala Harris said she wouldn't change at all because all those things went great, waved into the U.S. by Biden, charged with plotting an Election Day terror attack. Yes, you heard that right. An Afghan national let into the United States by the Biden administration immediately after the bungled withdrawal of American troops from his country. Remember that? They don't want to change a thing. Was charged Tuesday in federal court with plotting an Election Day terror attack in support of the Islamic State, also known as ISIS. The gentleman named Nasir Ahmad Twahedi, I think I nailed it. Was arrested by the FBI on Monday and charged with multiple crimes, including conspiring and attempting to provide material support to ISIS, according to the Justice Department. The charges are certain to renew alarm in Congress and inside security circles about the refugee program the administration put together during the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan, which has since been flagged for inadequate vetting for potential terrorist ties. Twahidi has been legally in the United States since September 9th of 2021 after he was granted special parole permission to enter the country during Operation Ally Refugee Bungle. Following the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, a U.S. official speaking on the condition of anonymity told Just the News the Justice Department made no mention of Twahidi's special parole status when they announced the federal charging documents made a passing reference. He entered the U.S. September 9th on that special immigrant visa and is currently on parole status pending adjudication of his immigration proceedings. It's basically, this is what happens when you have unfettered and a vacuum when it comes to leadership coming from the White House is you have things like this happen. It's not clear where the attack, according to officials, would have taken place, but Twahidi allegedly Googled how to access Washington, D.C. cameras and which U.S. state does not require relations to get a firearm.
Oh, my God.
So, he was doing his research. Of course, all this stuff you can find online, and that's the big takeaway from John Solomon.
How are we not surprised by this?
From what I understand, you had the clip too, right, of him talking about it?
Here's John Solomon discussing it tonight at 6 o'clock.
Breaking news. It just happened. Some of the worst fears realized. Congress and the Homeland Security Department Inspector General has been warning about this moment for years. Just a little bit ago, the Justice Department charged a 27-year-old Afghan national with plotting to commit a terror act on Election Day. He was going to shoot up an election site. He was arrested in Oklahoma a short while ago. This gentleman was allowed into the country, according to two senior U.S. officials have confirmed this to Just the News. He was allowed into the country with with special parole from the Biden administration during the Afghan refugee crisis. The Biden administration waived him into the country with special parole permission. He's now accused of taking advantage of his entry into the United States to potentially commit a heinous terrorist attack. More on this breaking on Just News. Go check it out. But something, Amanda, that a lot of people have been warning about for some time, the vetting of these Afghan nationals coming in during the failed withdrawal. Well, it wasn't up to par, and now we're seeing why.
Yeah, there's John.
There you have it.
And by the way, this guy was let in, I believe, the day after President Trump went on Greg Gutfeld and told him that there was terrorists being let into the country.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the leadership that we've had that have allowed all these people. And by the way, this is nothing. This is just these Afghans that got in after that withdrawal. All the terrorists that got into this country through the border.
Yeah.
They are obviously concerned about terrorist activities and all that kind of stuff. But man, who do they care about? These things are going to happen now. And luckily we got a good FBI, and they caught this guy. But these things are out there. How can anybody out there, if you're undecided, how can you possibly vote for the administration that's in place that put these people into our lives and communities that can possibly do something when you least expect it? You go to a concert, you go to a ball game, you're walking down the street, you're voting. They want to do us harm. And they allowed it. They enabled it. And as a matter of fact, they pushed for it.
And this is the problem, as you just alluded to. It's. I talked about this morning. It's kind of like when the Fed, raises rates, and you go, okay, well, he's raising rates, but I don't really feel anything. It's not any different. And then like a year later, it's like, oh,
right,
yeah,
because it's worked its way through the system.
That's spot on.
Unfortunately, this is the same kind of thing. They've let all these people in, and you go, well, it's not affecting my neighborhood or whatever, if you're lucky enough to be able to say that. But guess what? Just give it some time to work its way through the system, and it'll rear its ugly head in all kinds of places. It's going to take some time to realize how bad and how much danger has been let into this country. It'll take some time to work its way through the system, and then everybody will start to feel it. And by that time, it'll be too late to fix it.
Yeah.
It's just not terrorists either. You've got these illegal immigrants in town that are coming out of jail, some from death row. Trump talks about this stuff. He gets filleted by the mainstream media for saying these things. They're just not true. And then, like everything else, they're true.
Yeah. He gets filleted because, you shouldn't be speaking about these people like that. He's making such a broad. But how else are you supposed to say it?
What do you say?
I mean, if you want to have a little fun, just put in machete attacks in the U.S. You'd be surprised. I just did it because there are so many headlines. I don't remember machete attacks being a big deal in this country, probably ever, up until about 3 or 4 years ago. You got man who carried out machete attack on NYPD officers. You got in Maine, man sentenced 27 years for a machete attack. Boy 12 found guilty of machete murder. Times Square attack, machete. Man who attacked three officers, machete. Suspect in custody, Upper Marion, machete. Machete attack leaves man dead. That's only on page 1.
Wow.
Yeah,
only on page 1. If you want to see the beginnings of it, it starts with attacks on regular people walking down the street. I saw a video of an immigrant smacking a baby that a grandfather was carrying, and then it escalates to other things like child rape and then machete attacks, and then all of a sudden it's all hell breaks loose.
Well, you know what the left will probably do is ban all machetes.
No, they don't want to do that.
Not the bad people they let in that are using machetes.
That's racist.
Let's ban all machetes.
Because machetes are used by immigrants, to cut their bread.
This is stump the chump. These people are just putting us all in danger.
Yeah.
It's a terrible, terrible thing. I had no idea that were that many machete
murders.
But these crimes are happening in all of our cities now. And to Damon's point, a year from now, by the way, when Trump is president, these things are going to be happening. And they're going to say, oh, he's not keeping us safe.
More news and sports coming up. Live from Studio 6B, Hour 2, right after this.
I got my sound machine. Let me see. I didn't know what this one. Ready?
Big goose water.
That's the sound for Joe Biden when he comes into a room. We have that. Good. Should be a Kamala Harris sound. That's a good Kamala Harris sound. Oh, that's good. I love this little thing. I think I can entertain myself for about 14 hours a day with this little sound machine. That's how.
You got to read here, Damon.
What's that?
I have a read.
Oh, sorry. Thought you had a comment on the sound machine.
I think you've had that since the first day we did this show. That is an original first day live from Studio 6B prop that has made it.
We used to do this.
I saw him earlier. I went to the bathroom. He had it in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting in the
He tells himself his own jokes and then gives himself his own applause.
When a joke bombed, we'd hit this. This thing's great, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe, am I the only one that gets a kick out of this?
Yes.
I love this. Yeah, I am? Okay. I use it at the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru when I went through. I didn't know what was happening. I'm like, hey, can I get a large coffee? Hang on 1 second. A large coffee with 3 sugars. And, yeah. He's like, I can't hear you. I said, I know. Everybody's clapping.
Hey, guys, pause the applause. I got to post my order here.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I love that Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru, man. They mean business. They get right to it. They make coffee the fastest.
No dinking and dunking there, right?
Everywhere.
I saw a donut in Tim Hortons. Oh, but I had to pass on it.
Oh, how good does that place look?
Do you see the donuts in there? That is like a strawberry cream donut. Oh my God! I passed on it. Now I'm thinking I got to go back and get it one night. They got great stuff, right? They got Cabo
clean,
Fresh.
yeah.
And
I love Tim Hortons coffee.
I never tried it.
I love their coffee.
Oh, it's good, yeah.
So good.
It's Canadian stuff, right?
That's
It's all Canadian coffee.
Canada.
Hey.
Is it? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Tim Hortons
Oh,
is
it's so
Canadian.
good.
Yeah. Oh, Canada,
Those Canadians know how to make
we
donuts.
have good
They know how to make coffee too. Life is too short, Slick. Have the donut. Kentucky Hill Jill says.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Have the donut, Slick.
Just
Eat the sausage.
Well, it sounds like the blue, which means I got to tell you about somebody here. I don't know why this always happens to me. This always happens to me. This damn thing signs me out. This is I'm about to read about Patriot Mobile, our friends at Patriot Mobile. Well, you know, Americans are tired and frustrated by a stalling economy, inflation, endless wars, and the relentless assault on the values that made America great. Thankfully, there's companies like Patriot Mobile that still believe in America and believe in the Constitution. Patriot Mobile is a proud supporter of RAV, and they were proud to partner with them. They're on the front lines, fighting for the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and supporting our military and first responder heroes. Support conservative causes and put America first with every call you make, all while getting the same nationwide coverage as the major providers. Patriot Mobile has all 3 networks, and it's why they can back their service with a coverage guarantee. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team will help you find the best plan for your needs. Keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Just go to patriotmobile.com/RAV, patriotmobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT. Get a free month when you use offer code RAV today. Don't be fooled by other providers pretending to share your values. Join RAV in supporting the only one that actually lives by them. Of course, that's Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com/RAV right now, or you can call 972-PATRIOT for a free month of service. Do it today. patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. You know what a free month of service these days costs? If you've got a family of 4, it's like $400.
Yeah, it's a car payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. So that's a good deal right there. So our friends from Patriot Mobile. All right, let's do some sports. 19 past the hour. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow, LFS6B. That's the best deal going. LFS6B promo code saves you up to 50-60% off sometimes. Great stuff from Mike Lindell. Plus, send us your receipt showing you used our code at checkout. You can pick anything off of our merch store at livefromstudio6b.com. Any shirt you want, we'll send it out to you for free. I think we're pretty much caught up on everybody's orders. I think we only got a handful left to get out. Everybody should be caught up. So if you're waiting on a shirt, it's coming.
Yeah.
You caught up or you got them all out?
How about blue jackets and suits? Do you send those across?
No, only Slick's got those.
It'll be delivered to your gnome soon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait,
I was going to do sports, but now I just think I'm just going to
I didn't say nothing.
Cancel it.
It was Norelco over here. This segment brought to you by the makers of Norelco.
Slick's got it. What's going on in sports?
All right, Big D. Well, back to the NHL opening night in Florida. The Panthers got their rings, Stanley Cup championship rings, in a private ceremony earlier tonight, celebrating a little bit in Florida. Obviously, they got a hell of a bad day tomorrow coming, but the Panthers do lead 5-2 over the Bruins. End of 2 periods, looking to close that out and get the win. Blues over the Kraken earlier tonight. First female coach behind the bench in NHL history for the Seattle Kraken tonight. They lost 3-2. And the Blackhawks taking on Utah HC. So Tracy L in the chat schooled me in sports on that one. Thank you, Tracy. That would be in the Getter chat. Tracy said that the Utah Hockey Club is actually the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh, wow.
And they moved to Utah. They got pushed
Okay.
out. And so it was not expansion as I originally was thinking. I forgot that Arizona, remember they were playing in like a 7,000 seat arena. They couldn't get a decent arena there in Arizona. So another thing Arizona lost is a hockey club. So, geez.
The NHL is still calling it an expansion because they're not acknowledging that the team is continuing.
Okay.
So the Phoenix team is officially shut down.
All right, yeah, so the Phoenix team is shut down, but Utah HC is supposedly a derivative of that. So, very interesting story there. MLB underway. Dodgers already up 1-0 in San Diego, bottom of the first inning. And as I said, the Mets obviously took a nice 2-1 lead in a best-of-5 series. So that means the Phillies, they got to win. They got to definitely win. They got 2 more shots at winning a game. Otherwise, the Mets can close it out and move on to take on the winner of the Padres-Dodgers series. So, exciting stuff in New York earlier today at Citi Field. And, this story is actually a terrible story, but it is the first night of hockey, so let me get to this. Hockey writer Frank Seravalli takes heat for a disgusting comment after Johnny Gaudreau's death. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. Remember earlier this summer on the bike, him and his brother Matty. Hockey writer Frank Seravalli is taking heat for what some have termed a disgusting comment about Columbus Blue Jackets star Johnny Gaudreau, who along with his brother was killed by a suspected drunk driver in August. Gaudreau and his brother Matthew were both killed on August 29th while riding bikes when a driver ran them down in New Jersey. Johnny was 31 and Matthew was only 29. Now, weeks after the player's shocking and untimely death, Seravalli is in the crosshairs for invoking the elder Gaudreau in a recent story on the Blue Jackets posted to Daily Faceoff. Here's his quote. With little help from Gaudreau, the Columbus Blue Jackets will win the 2025 draft lottery. It's the only consolation prize on a brutal year, Seravalli wrote in summation of the team's season, according to the Daily Mail. I mean, just really,
I am shocked
your
to
brains?
hear that.
Yep, fans were not pleased to see that line in Seravalli's article, with one fan calling it disgusting and another calling for Seravalli to step away from writing about hockey. While it's unclear what Seravalli was trying to say with the original line, the story was later edited twice, once to read with little help from above, and a second time to read with little help from the Gaudreau in heaven. The article now has an editor's note. Item number 14 on this list, a prediction about the Columbus Blue Jackets winning the draft lottery, has been amended to remove a comment about the late Johnny Gaudreau looking down on the team from heaven. The intent was to honor Gaudreau and not offend. The wording was chosen poorly. Daily Faceoff regrets the error and apologizes to anyone hurt by the comment. Seravalli also posts an apology to his readers. Here's his post. What I wrote and how my poor choice of words was received was not intended to create any hurt or anger, Seravalli posted on X, especially as a member of the Philly hockey community. I've been absolutely gutted by Johnny and Maddie's passing, like so many around the hockey world. This tragedy is a difficult topic we're all grappling with, and what I wrote was never intended to add to that. Simply put, I should not have tied the two together. I am sorry, and I promise to be better. So at least the guy owned up, but I don't know about that. That's an awfully rough comment about
That's
an
a
NHL
bad
player that
taste.
passed away to say that's the reason why they're going to get the top pick in the draft. So I'm going to end on that sour note, Big D, and I'll come back with an update on the games a little bit later, and hopefully a better story in sports than that one.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell.
Opening night.
LFS6B is the promo code to use. Let's do some news. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on?
All right. Well, we were talking about this earlier. What happened to Kamala Harris over the weekend at her quote unquote rally? This is how you know you've got problems when your teleprompter goes down and you have no clue what the hell to say. This is cut number 2. You got to see this for yourself to believe it. See if you can find the point at where it stops working. I think it's fairly obvious, but take a look for yourself. Here's cut number 2.
Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election.
What is going on here?
So 32 days.
Yeah, 32.
All of a sudden, she's not so
32
happy.
days.
Yeah, it was OJ's
Okay,
number.
we got some business to do. All right. 32
This
days.
is her winging it.
And we know
Yeah.
we will do it.
Yeah.
Good luck. Couldn't even say what it is.
And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog.
She's got nothing
And we
to
know
say.
we have some hard work ahead.
Oh, my goodness.
Are we sure she hasn't done stand-up in her career in the past?
So that's what happens when
Can we play that one more time? Let me just make a couple changes. Play that one more time. It's going to make a couple changes to it.
Remember his number, 32.
Let me make it perfect here.
Today we got 32
Give me a
days
little
until
sound
the
on it.
election.
You're crazy, Debbie.
So 32
Look at the people behind
days.
her.
Yeah,
32.
32 days.
Yep.
Okay, we got some
It's
business
30
to do.
with two.
We got some business to do.
32.
All right. 32 days.
Like Baskin Robbins. 32
And we
flavors,
know-
32 days.
We will do it.
Yeah.
And
She's got nothing.
And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very
Yeah.
end.
Till
We
it's
are the
32 days.
underdog, and we know we have some hard work ahead.
Oh, goodness gracious.
First it was Robin Williams, and now Kamala Harris, the improv.
That alone is disqualifying.
Yeah.
That alone is disqualifying.
How could you put that in the White House?
32 days.
How could you put that in the White House? Oh, man. We have an update on Harry. Has he boarded the plane yet?
I got an update from
He
Harry.
fell asleep.
Yes. Fridays messaged me from in Fort Worth, said Harry's on his 4th cocktail and singing Mandy by Barry Manilow at the karaoke
Mandy.
bar. Yeah. Yeah, he's somehow he slipped into Mandy. I think he saw a girl.
That's
I
one of Big
remember
D's.
all my life.
Yeah.
And they're actually contacting you because he's using your credit card. Don't
Oh
they?
yeah.
And you, have to,
Harry,
you just have to verify it for
You
them.
got your ass off the couch and you made it.
We might have to use that for breaking news when we get through.
Yeah. Stop harping on Harry.
Let me get on the social media here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Only when he was on the Yankees.
I want to be with the Louis Tian. I want the wiener. That was like in the 70s.
He had the big fucking mustache.
Oh, yeah. The big Manchu almost. Right?
I like Manilow.
Oh, Manilow?
I like
Big
Manilow
D.
back in
Big
the
D
day.
will tell you that's one of the greatest American songwriters of all time.
Really?
Barry
I can't argue
Manifold.
with
We
him.
used to call him Barry Manifold when I was in the Hofstra music program.
Harry Manifold, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
I used to work with
so many
with
hits.
Berkeley School
Yeah.
of Music.
I used to work with his one of his cousins.
Did you?
Yeah,
was
did.
his name Manilow?
No.
No?
No, sir. I forgot what it was.
He was a jingle writer. He wrote jingles.
He was.
Yeah. Then he-
Probably made more money on his jingle for State Farm than he did for
Yeah. He made a lot of money on that Coke and
That he
Bananas
has for regular songs. He probably made more money off jingles that he's written that people don't even realize.
He still does very well. He's got a great tour.
He's on tour right now.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He still sounds very good. I mean, I've never seen him.
He's
live.
opening for Metallica, I believe. Yeah, Manilow and Metallica.
Mega Manilow.
I didn't hear that.
Did he? He might have. But I think
he's had so much plastic surgery. I don't know how he can even sing.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
But still, I love all those old bands. I'll go see any
Journey.
of those folks. Journey, awesome.
Oh, did you hear about the new singer?
They're so old. They call him Gurney now.
Replacement singer?
They have a new one.
Well, the
Not
guy
the
that they found in
Philippine
the
guy.
Philippines.
Oh, that guy, the karaoke guy.
Yeah. They saw him on
I
YouTube.
guess he had a bad show, so he went out and said, if the fans vote me off the band, I'll leave the band.
Did he leave?
Bring
I don't
Steve
think so.
Perry,
I think
Steve Perry back.
I think the band was like, no. That's
Steve
okay.
Perry has a problem.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in on a Tuesday night. Slick's doing sports. Rick Delgado's doing the news. Vinnie Mac's going to have some thoughts coming up. Aaron and Fran holding it down. As always, 27 days?
27?
28 days, is that what it is?
32.
I thought it was 32.
Thought it was 32.
Teleprompter.
Well,
says
that wasn't,
27.
that clip's not from today.
Oh, okay.
And it's
from
time
last
to
year.
bring on one of our favorite people back to the show, and that, of course, is Andy Mangion, AMAC Action Senior Vice President. We love AMAC. I know this audience has responded, and they love AMAC as well. Welcome, Andy, back to the show. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing well, Damon. Glad to be here.
It's always great to have you back. And, I mean, listen, here we are. We're in the home stretch. I mean, this is it. Trump obviously doing events, crisscrossing the country, spending time in the swing states. J.D. Vance obviously coming off a big debate performance. President Trump coming off the big Butler performance back in Pennsylvania. Obviously, lots going on in the world. So when you look here at 28 days and you're talking to your AMAC members, what are you guys focused on? What are you engaging with AMAC members? How are you getting out the vote? Tell me about what you guys are doing here in the home stretch.
Well, we're reaching out to our members in states with key ballot issues in a series of get out the vote contacts. There's a lot of educating that's going on right now, Damon. We're educating them on issues and asking them to support or oppose specific measures. And importantly, we're also emphasizing that they get out and vote early and share our message with their family and friends.
Yeah, I would bet getting out early is probably one of the main issues you talk to them about. But again, being within a month here, what are the issues that you guys prioritize and are talking to them about? Is it state issues or the things nationally? What are you talking to them about?
We're looking at individual state measures. Some of these are state amendments to constitutions, and they're primarily concerning election integrity, ranked choice voting, or a version thereof like top four voting, jungle primaries, which destroy primary voting, non-citizen voting, and redistricting are some of the issues that we're reaching out to our members on. Some of these issues, as I mentioned before, are state constitutional amendments, which could enshrine some of these measures in the state's constitution. So we feel it's imperative that AMAC members know these proposals thoroughly and get out to vote early.
You know, you look at the polls, obviously, in these states, and whatever you believe in the polls, whether you think they're right, whether you think they're wrong, we know this election comes down to certain states. You look at Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, all of the swing states. Do you guys engage with members in just the states? I mean, I know you're engaging with members all over, but when you get into this kind of compressed time frame, are you engaging with members more in, let's say, swing states where you think the election comes down to, all 50 states? Tell me about that.
Yep. Well, it's the issues are driving where we're going to be active on these election integrity measures. So we're looking to activate the AMAC membership in Alaska, Ohio, Missouri, Colorado, Montana, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, Kentucky, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. All of these states have key election integrity issues that we need to inform our members on and get them to get out and vote.
And then, obviously, we all know what happened in 2020, and we hope the RNC and the great work you guys are doing and other people to get out in election integrity and be on top of this vote. And obviously, Election Day is going to be important. Do you guys have do you have a barrier that you set? Do you judge how effective you've been? What is your barrier for results? How do you know if it's been effective? What are you guys looking for? Is it looking past election day, or tell me about that?
Well, we have some metrics in place where we can see how engaged our members are with regard to, are they responding to what we're sending out? But we look at the results of the election. We look at how many members we have in a state. We look at how many people open up the email to read the message. And then we look at, did the measure pass? Or did it fail? Because we're asking our members to support or oppose certain election integrity issues. Now, you have to keep in mind, Damon, that our members have been highly engaged on election integrity issues. They're the ones who put this issue into our issues portfolio. They demanded we get involved, and they know that we do not have a constitutional republic without free and fair elections. And they also, importantly, Damon, they recognize that the left is trying to manipulate the administration of our elections to secure one-party rule for themselves in perpetuity, and they have told us they want to stop that.
We've been speaking with Andy Mangion, of course, from AMAC, Senior Vice President of AMAC Action. Of course, you can go to AMAC today, become part of a movement that champions your values. Visit amac.us/Studio6B, amac.us/Studio6B. I mean, they're always running just a ridiculous deal to join. What you get for what you spend is amazing. amac.us/Studio6B. Stand with AMAC, protect America's future. Andy, always great having you on your show. Thank you so much, and thank you for everything you're doing as we head into Election Day.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Andy Mangion from AMAC. Visit him right now, amac.us/Studio6B. Always doing great work there. Always doing great work.
Yeah.
Vinny Mac is here. He's got some thoughts on some things that have been bugging him. What's going on, Vinny?
I like what Andy said, though. Free and clear elections, and we need a free and honest and fair media. If we want to have a country that we can move forward on. Those two things. It's pretty simple. So I like where Andy's coming from. Really good stuff.
Well, they do great work. I mean, AMAC, AARP, you look at them, and what's the thing? 91% of all the donations go to liberal left-wing causes. Mm-hmm. I mean, and AMAC's there doing great work for your conservative, conservative values. And listen, the conservative 50-plus market is a market, as Vinny knows well, it's really underserved when it comes to the patriot economy, to your, these things. It's all left. The left controls all of it. They control the culture. They control the language. They control the universities. They control the companies. They control all of it. So, you look at work that AMAC is doing, it's just, one small part of what we need to be building up on the right?
There's no question. And AMAC could, I think, supplant AARP. Because the bulk of the 50-plus market is conservative or not flaming liberal, like these flaming liberal progressives that are way off the reservation there. That's what they all miss, and that's where I think there's great opportunity.
Yeah. What else is on your mind?
Israel's been on my mind, frankly, for a couple of things. One, they took all those missiles, which we've talked about already, and they haven't retaliated fully yet. They're going in and taking out Hamas. One thing that we all don't fully appreciate when it comes to this conflict is Israel is just a stepping stone. This is not the war. Okay, if you're looking at how these Islamic terrorists operate, especially the mullahs in Iran and others, this is not the war. This is a battle. The war is with the West. The war is with us here in the United States. They want to first take out Israel, and they want to come here. Everybody thinks, no. Well, Israel will settle this. We'll create a two-state solution. If I hear two-state solution again from any politician, especially these particular politicians that are running for president, Kamala Harris and Waltz, two-state solution is not a solution. Anybody who knows this conflict knows that's not a solution. They want to destroy Israel. But the thing that gets missed by Europe, by our leaders here, and by even the people of this country is that's just a stepping stone. They want to wipe us out, which is why Trump rightly said, go in, take out those nuclear places that they have. They're making the weapons. You have to do that. You can't listen to the Biden administration and make them passive. If just like the border, just like this terrorist that was just arrested, and just like Damon said, a year from now, this stuff's going to be smacking us in the face because they let all these bad people in. A year from now, they might just use a nuke. And we allowed it. We enabled it. So I think we all need to kind of wake up, especially Europe, especially this country, and understand Israel is simply in the way right now. They want to eliminate them, but they want to eliminate us and our way of life. That's not like hyperbole. That's not, conspiracy theory. That's not taking this thing, and exaggerating it. That's the reality of what they really want. If you listen to those preachers preach when they're in the mosques talking about some of this crazy stuff, that's what they're saying. And now they're here. They're in our streets. And if they were in their streets protesting like they do here, they'd be dead. Yep. They'd be drowned. They'd be shot. Their heads would be cut off. And that would be the end of it. No, but they're here. And they're protesting. And they have a right to do it. We don't like it. But it is free speech. We don't want to see violence, but they're here. They're here for a reason. For what I just said.
Speaking of Israel, Kamala Harris was on 60 Minutes. And this is one of the questions that came up, and I found her answer somewhat nauseating. Here it is.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, would you take military action?
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals at this moment.
That look of when that, by the way, the look of, you want to see what the look of absolute terror feels like?
Yeah.
It's right when would you take military action? It's right there.
Hamana.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to talk about this.
Yeah.
This is her top priority, she says.
Yeah.
Now, she has, for 3.5 years, along with Biden, thrown in with the enemy. Thrown in with the enemy in this Israel-Iran.
That's the number one target,
They funded the enemy. Mm-hmm. They've thrown in with the enemy. She's friends with people who support the enemy. But she gets on here and has the nerve to say this is her number one priority. They've enabled it. They have stepped them this close to getting it. But this is her number one priority.
They didn't enforce the sanctions. They let them make $55 billion just this past year. $55 billion is what they allowed them to do. And she has the nerve to say that they're the enemy when they've enabled this. By the way, they're against mass border, immigration, illegal immigration now, after they just let everybody into the country. Everything they do and say is the opposite. I feel like I'm watching like a Seinfeld episode here when we deal with these people. And George Costanza doing the opposite of everything. This is what I feel like I'm living through. Oh, they're the enemy. And here's $55 billion. Go sell your oil. We're not going to enforce anything. And please, don't get a nuclear weapon. The Israelis have to do our dirty work right now. Thank God for the Israelis. Thank God Netanyahu is a strong leader and basically said, I'm going to go it alone. Sorry. This is exactly what he should be saying. And I don't want a bad war. I don't want these things. We all don't want it. But you got to take that out. You got to take out these nuclear facilities. I don't think there's any choice. I mean, does anybody here think there's any choice that we leave them available? Because they're going to make the weapon. This is the number one priority for them. They're going to make it. And where are they going to do it? What are they going to do with it?
You would think you would think that Israel has a green light right now if they're going to do it, right?
Yeah, you would think they would have done it by now.
I am a little perplexed, but Israel, they are so smart and so shrewd, that military, that they're probably battling a little with Biden, the administration here. I would think there's a little something going on behind the scenes. But two, they're probably waiting for the right moment where they can absolutely take it out. I would hope.
All right, more news and sports. We'll wrap it up when we get back on a Tuesday night right after this.
mean, we just saw Crazy Town with her, stuttering. By the way, Harry's now doing My Sharona. So he had, I think it's his 5th cocktails at the Fridays in Fort Worth.
He's standing on the bar.
He's singing My Sharona. Yeah. He asked me what the lyrics were in the Batman theme song, so I got to send him some notes on that. I'll give him the words. I'm glad he's having a good time. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Harry's, meeting some ladies at the bar or anything like
Never.
that? Harry? You think that's possible?
He goes right for the barmaids. Still seeing that guy? We know
he's got the magic touch. He definitely
Harry does have the magic. Yeah, they love Harry, right, Big D? It's amazing. The women, they love Harry.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
They love Harry.
Everybody loves Harry. The most lovable guy you ever
He is. He's like a big teddy bear. He is. He's like a big teddy bear. Well, Fran might say, if they say otherwise, but Fran's like, nobody loves Harry.
Harry has some lovable qualities.
Oh, there you go, Fran.
He also has some irritating qualities, so it's a balance.
Oh,
Which one outweighs the other?
Depends on the day or the hour or what my text messages say.
Fran breaking it down. Yes.
Yeah, wow, they've been together a long
Waltz
time.
says the Electoral College needs to go. What a shot. Who? Tim Waltz.
Oh.
Wow, Tim Waltz.
All they need is New York and California.
Right.
I mean, New York and I still think New York's in play. I do think it's in play.
You think they'll flip that the liberal Manhattan, huh?
I think there's
hopefully most of them moved out, Vin. Maybe we got a shot. Maybe a lot of people moved out of Manhattan, all those libs.
It's the Jewish vote. It's the Jewish vote. If 25-30% of the Jewish vote turns, it's in play. Maybe he doesn't win, but it's in play. And I've heard that that's happening.
Melania did the 5 today.
Did she really?
Yeah.
With Gutfeld and all them?
Yeah. Melania did the 5 today. I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah.
I just saw a clip of it on my socials.
That's
How'd she do?
Man, she is stunning.
Yeah,
she's beautiful.
Holy
one of the most beautiful women that ever walked the earth. No
you like that kind of thing?
She could have been. Well, she was a model, right? But she could have been on.
She is.
She was the best thing she could be. She was the first lady.
Take your breath away. Stunning.
Yeah, she is, and she looks. How old is she? She's enough. What? She's like in her early 50s, right? Yeah, she looks fantastic.
I like the fact she's out. She's got this book, but she's talking.
I mean. To the hour, live from Studio 6B. Melania Trump, the former First Lady, was out and about today. She doesn't do much media. You know where she was today? She ended up on the 5. Here's just one little quick answer to them asking about her husband and them calling the left calling him a threat to democracy.
Of course I do. Yes, I do. I think, when they call him he's a threat to democracy, let's ask ourselves, who is really a threat to democracy? They are ongoing with the lawfare against the former president, as well as, trying to get him off the voting ballots and trying to, silence him. So, yes, of course, I was always afraid what can happen, and that they continuing with that kind of language is just it's a toxic atmosphere.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's do some news. Here with the news is Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, we were talking about the First Amendment and how free speech and censorship should basically on the table when it comes to the left. Elon Musk made reference to it when he stopped by Butler, Pennsylvania for the Trump rally on Saturday. Here's cut number 4. Here's Elon talking about free speech and the First Amendment and what happens if Donald Trump doesn't win. Cut number 4. Check this out.
I think it's the most important election of our lifetime. This is no ordinary election. The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. You must have free speech in order to have democracy. That's why it's the First Amendment. And the Second Amendment is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment.
Yeah, so there he is talking about free speech, which is constantly under attack. If you didn't see it over the weekend, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton came out on Saturday and said that social media companies must moderate their content on their platforms or else that they're going to lose total control. She told CNN host Michael Smerconish that while there have been some steps taken at the state level to regulate social media, she wants more done. Of course, more done by the federal government. If you don't believe me, well, you can see that for yourself. Here's cut number 5. Here's Hillary talking about her need and her want for mass censorship. Cut number 5.
We should be, in my view, repealing something called Section 230, which gave, platforms on the internet immunity because they were thought to be just pass-throughs, that they shouldn't be judged for the content that is posted. But we now know that that was an overly simple view, that if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the social and psychological effects, it's real harm.
Yeah, real harm, because they'll lose total control, which is what they want, which is what they need. They don't want you thinking for yourself. They don't want you to hear something called a dissenting opinion or maybe the truth. They want to have control over everything and censor you. And of course, John Kerry was out there as well. I don't know if you saw this. He just hates the First Amendment. He thinks it's a problem. They're telling us what they're going to do. This is why this election is so important. Here's cut number 3. John Kerry talking about how that First Amendment is just a problem for everybody.
And I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing. And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue. It's really hard to govern today. You can't, the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact are kind of, been eviscerated to a certain degree.
That's not a bad thing.
And people go, and that people self-select where they go for their news or for their information, and then you just get into a vicious cycle. So it's really, really hard, much harder to build consensus today than at any time in the 45, 50 years I've been involved in this. And there's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities.
It is.
In order to guarantee that you're going to have, some accountability on facts, et cetera. But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and, has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So what we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hopefully having winning enough votes that you're free to be able to implement change. Now, obviously, there are some people in our country who are prepared to implement change in other ways.
Blow this guy
I was going to say,
because the change he wants.
Wearing my patience on these last 2
John,
clips.
go to bed. I have an observation.
We're not a democracy either, Bozo. We're a constitutional republic. Our founders specifically didn't want us to be a democracy. But that's for another day.
I do have an observation on that, Rick, if I could.
Yeah.
The observation is this. If media and journalism called balls and strikes and actually reported factual information as factual information, increase the libel laws, do anything you need to do to make that, social media would inherently be weaker from that standpoint where there might be, rumors or things that might not be true. If the real media did its job, social media would not have that power. But because the real media does not do their job,
right?
They report things that aren't true. It's false, it's false, it's false. People then go to social media because then they believe it. They have it backwards and they have caused the problem. That's my observation. Thank you very much.
All right, very good. Let's do some sports and wrap it up here on a Tuesday night with Slick Rick. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. What's going on, Slick?
All right, Big D. Well, we got the NHL action right now. The Panthers 6-2 over the Bruins. And like I said earlier tonight, the Blues knocked off the Kraken 3-2. Blackhawks and Utah HC getting ready to get it on at 10 o'clock. Major League Baseball. Could it be that we're going to have an old McDonald's National League Championship Series? Stay with me on this, fellas. The San Diego Padres right now lead the LA LA Dodgers 6-1. That series tied. They can go up 2-1. And the Mets, who have now taken on Grimace as their mascot. So you have Grimace and you have Ray Kroc, who used to own the San Diego Padres back in the day, right? So here you go. Could be an old McDonald's. Well, getting ahead of myself, though. Dodgers could still come back. It's only the third inning. But yeah, the big upset there in the making there with the Padres. So kind of wild. And just one more quick story, if I may take the moment. Hurricane Milton forces NHL Lightning, others to alter plans. ESPN News Services. The NHL's Tampa Bay Lightning had left Florida ahead of Hurricane Milton to practice the rest of the week in Raleigh, North Carolina area for their season opener at the Carolina Hurricanes on Friday. Milton, currently a Category 5, is projected to make landfall in the Tampa area Wednesday night. It had a maximum sustained winds of 165 miles an hour as of Tuesday afternoon, and we kind of went through the rest already. The NFL's Buccaneers made a similar decision to travel early to New Orleans for their game against the Saints on Sunday. So, listen, sports pales in comparison to this tragedy, but it's good to see these teams are getting out of there. I'm sure Boston can't wait to get on a plane and get out of there, too, because they're getting smoked anyway. So that's it. Ooh. That's a wrap in sports, Big D.
I want you to look at this footage and look at if I go back to the beginning, those are regular palm trees standing there, as you can see them on the left. This is what 15-foot storm surge looks like.
Oh, gosh.
Where is this? Does it say?
I don't know where this footage is from, but this
could be Cancun,
this
maybe?
is 15-foot.
Because Cancun got hit.
That's what those palm trees look like on a 15-foot storm surge.
Damn.
God.
So when we say it's not survivable, it's not survivable.
It's not.
Again, those are those same trees from the beginning of this video, right there. And that is what 15-foot looks like.
Yeah. Where's the road?
Yeah, exactly. Where's anything?
Yeah.
Good gravy.
This is on our social media, by the way.
That's
if you want to follow us, this is what 15-foot storm surge looks like.
Michelle, Noreen, you guys be careful out there.
As always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines. We're praying for everybody in Florida overnight and into the morning. Join me tomorrow morning. I'll be tracking it live. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, Fran, great job as always. We will see you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll see you tomorrow night right here with President Trump live from Reading, Pennsylvania. Live from Studio 6B. We'll see you then.